Diverse runners have been craving an outlet to express all of our running abilities, and I have that outlet today. Let's talk the Diverse Runners Mag featuring Midstrike Magazine. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Runway Podcast. I am your host, Kim, and I do have a very special guest today. And if you would notice, the Runway has been on the move. We're at a totally new location. But welcome Jesse Spellman to the show.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
How are you?
Good. Busy couple of weeks, as you know, but making it happen.
You got me out here in this Brooklyn heat. You know I don't do well in these excessive temperatures.
Listen, Brooklyn is where I was born and raised. Why not come to Brooklyn?
That is
Actually,
true.
this is my old neighborhood, Canarsie, so we are here.
Yeah, so we're at Canarsie Pier. We're overlooking the water. It is a
Hot day.
super hot day. He got me out here sweating in my britches. So tell us where you're from.
Brooklyn, New York. Born and raised all my life until about 2 years ago. Then made the move to a quieter place per se. But this is my home. This is where I was raised. This is what's me. It's Brooklyn, New York. So when you look at me, I am Brooklyn. You know what I mean? I can't say it any more clear than that.
I hear that, but you left Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, so it kind of got to the point where it's like, all right, do we want to stay and stay what we know, or do you want to go out and experience what else is out there? So we as humans, we kind of think about what's out there, what's new to experience. And, as a family man with 2 kids, for me and my wife, we just wanted space. You know what I mean? That's something that's hard to come by in Brooklyn. So yeah, it came with space and just. For the kids, them just going out and playing without you having to look over their shoulder every second.
So how are you enjoying living in the suburbs? I know, like for me, it's like a little bit of an adjustment, but I'm used to it now. But you're like new to it still. So how is it?
I'm still getting used to it.
Like you can't run to the corner store no more.
No, that's oh man, and that's like a headache. It's like you get up like, damn, I want something to eat, but you got to drive like 15 to 20 minutes every time to go get it. I gotta go run to the store. You gotta drive to the store. You can't just walk anywhere anymore. And that's what I miss about the city, is being able to, like, if you want good food, you walk 5 minutes to get it. You wanna step out and just hang out, take the ride, get in 5 to 10 minutes. You know what I mean? But there's like the suburbs, there's none of that. That's like gone. Yeah. And it's quiet. I'm not used to the quiet.
It's a big, but you get used to it. It's a big difference, but when you have a family, it's worth it to make the sacrifice and not have your convenience of walking to the corner store and getting a Snicker bar. Right. Because we can't do that no more.
Nope, you definitely can't, especially when something that small.
So when did you start long distance adult onset running? Because I asked someone else this and he gave me his history from
I can give you the history. No, I'm not giving you that history.
Don't do that. Start with your adult running.
We'll start in 2014. I started running. And I was all messed up. Like, I thought I was doing something. It's funny, I got a Facebook memory that popped up the other day. And I think I ran 7 miles in like an hour and 34 minutes. Now, personally, I thought... Wait,
that's probably my current 7-mile time. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought I was doing something. And I remember that run because the picture came up. I ran in cotton basketball shorts, cotton shirt, cotton socks, and basketball sneakers. I think Reebok pumps. I'm a sneaker guy. Yeah, I ran 7.3 miles in those. But it was, I was into it. You know what I mean? It was something where it's like, all right, I don't have to run to the gym. I'm not around anybody. It's just you and getting those miles in. It's like your solace, right? So my first long run per se was from Kings Plaza to Marine Parkway Bridge and back.
Wait, so you were long running your first?
Yeah.
Your first time out?
First time out was a 7-mile run.
What?
Can I curse?
Yes.
I shit you not.
You can curse all you want.
The first time that was a 7-mile run, 7.34 miles, 1 hour and 34 minutes. And then from there, it's just like, I just it was like twice a week, and then it just started to get, you know, larger and larger. And then I just like, I think that next year, 2015, I ran my first 5K, and that was the dash to the finish line, and that was in 2016. And I thought, again, I was hot shit. I was like, you know what I mean? My wife dropped me off at the starting line. I was like, I'll be done in 22, 24 minutes. Nope. 44 minutes.
For the 5K?
Yeah, for 5K. So it's like, there's a picture floating around, I still have it, where it's like, I ran the first half mile all out. Like I gave it everything. And then I ended up walking a half mile in. And that was like 44 minutes. So then it's like, after that, took a pause, like literally just stopped. I think it was just life caught up. And I started back that next fall in 2017 with Rock and Roll Brooklyn half marathon.
That was a big pause.
Yeah.
So what was the catalyst that got you into running? Because we always have a reason why we start running. No one just goes out and says, I want to run 7 miles. Like what was your catalyst?
It's weird because when I started, I never had a reason. I just ran. So I didn't really have a reason. It's just something that kind of relaxed me and just kind of brought me down. It's like when I started, I always felt better after a run. No matter if it was fast or slow or like it took long, whatever, I always felt better. And then actually it wasn't anything big, but we all end up at the doctor's office. You know, it always starts there. And the doc was like, you know, your pressure's a little high. Problems. You know, I'm not a big guy, but for my weight, I was heavy set.
You're not big now.
I had a dad bod. That's what I like to call it. So I had the belly.
Wait, there was no dad bod back then.
No, it was.
It wasn't called a dad bod.
What was it called?
You was just chunky. He was fat.
Not fat.
Keep it real.
Chubby.
He was chubby.
And
we all had our chubby phases.
Yeah, and Brooklyn Half Marathon, Rock and Roll Brooklyn, I ran that, and then the next year I went to the 9+1, and there's a picture that they caught me with the Queens Marathon, where it's like I crossed the finish and you can see my belly poking out, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe
Did you have that blue shirt on?
Yeah.
I saw that picture.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time to kind of get myself together. So I just started like taking running seriously. And then around that time, that's when I met with Black Men Run New York City, and it kind of took off from there. You know what I mean? And then with those guys, it showed me that what it's like to be around healthy black men. You know what I mean? Because the world we live in is not much of that. You know, we weren't taught that growing up. You know what I mean? We weren't taught to live healthy lives. We were taught the shitty foods. You know, not take care of yourself mentally and physically, and just to go about your life and not really give a shit. You know what I mean? So I didn't want that. You know what I mean? For me, that's when it started kicking in, where it's like I want to be able to chase my kids when I'm like 50 or 60 years old, right? I want to be able to beat my son in a race when he's in his 20s, when I'm in my 50s, going in his 60s. You know, so it's like no easy wins for my kids. Sorry, there's no easy wins. You know what I mean? So if they want to race, we're going to race.
Take it easy on the little ones.
No easy wins. Not even Uno. Not even a game.
So how did you?
Not even a Mario Kart.
Oh, come on.
Nope.
So how did you get hooked up with Black Men Run, New York City?
Through a friend of a friend. His name is Andy, who I'm best friends with his brother. And he ran with BMR NYC a couple of times at Prospect Park. So he was like, you know, yo, Jess, since you're getting into running, go check these guys out. So the first time I went out was in 2016, I think like October 2016, after the Rock and Roll Brooklyn. And I was intimidated, you know, because I see these guys, they're like cheetah speeds, and they're fast, you know what I mean? And I was intimidated. I was like, these guys are gonna take off, I can't keep up, you know what I mean? And I was nervous. So we got the first run in. They run one loop around Prospect Park, it's like 3.4 miles. And I was like, I don't know if I can do it. Like, it was like
Prospect Park is not an easy run.
And I had my doubts, but the co-captain, we didn't run a loop that day, we did steps. So my first day with BMR was doing steps in this type of heat.
It's hot, y'all.
Yeah. And we jogged down, I was in the back, did the steps, jogged back, and I couldn't make it back. Like, I legit couldn't make that mile back. Like, it was just walking, running, out of breath, couldn't do it, winded. And Brandon Jackson, captain of BMR NYC, never left my side that entire time. And till then, that sticks with me. Like, that's like an unforgettable moment, because it's like he's embodied the human of no man left behind. And all these guys took off. Here's Brandon Jackson, like, come on, brother, I'm with you.
Good old B Jack.
Yeah. And he got me to the end. And since then, it was like, that was it. I was up.
So do you now stay behind when the new fellas come out to run? And bring them in? Yes
and no. It's you know, my man B Jack is the embodiment of that. So it's like there'll be days where I'm like, B Jack, I got it. You go ahead. And then my man Brandon would be like, nah, I got it, brother. You go get your miles in or whatever. But, you know, if he's not around, then we always pick it up. It's not a one-person thing, but we always pick it up. No man left behind is our motto, and we stand by that.
Okay, so the reason why we are here is to discuss the new digital diverse running magazine, Mid-Strike Mag. So tell us why you wanted to start a digital running magazine.
It's funny, it actually came from your show.
Really?
Yeah, it came from the Runway podcast with the Runner's World the coverage. And I think you had asked about my thoughts about it. And I think my thoughts came across where it was like, I don't care. It was
my thoughts as well.
It was that bold. I was just like, you know, everybody's mad and upset, and I'm sitting there watching all that, and I'm like, why? You know what I mean? I'm like, why is everybody like, you're giving them more promo and coverage of their magazine, you know? And for me, I just didn't care about it, because we have so many avenues to release our own content within Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Vimeo, online websites. We have that power to do so. So, you know, after I said that to your show, kind of the light bulb went out. It's like, ding. And it's funny because I was actually going to hit you back saying, don't use that.
Really?
Yeah, because it was like, I said it and I'm like, damn, the idea is out there now. So it's like, obviously you're going to get like, it's going to pique the interest of other folks. But for me, I'm the type of person where it's like, okay, I have a choice now. Do I make it happen? Do I sit back and let somebody else do it? Or do I try to, you know, do I just try to make it happen? All right, so, you know, I mentioned to you, I was going to mention you not to put it in your podcast, but then, you know, I had a choice. I can either make it happen or let somebody else do it. And, you know, my mind just started going, thinking about things that I would like to see in the magazine as far as content-wise. And, you know, me being a production guy, once those ideas start flowing, you just put it on. I didn't put anything to paper. It's just more like, I just threw it on the website, see how it will look. Okay, looks good. I don't like it, take it over. And everything kind of just flourished from there.
And you put this together pretty quickly, because that Runner's World So White show was not that long ago.
This is 4 weeks old. A month? So I guess you could say a month.
Is it 4 weeks?
I would say just at the start of 4 weeks. So it started with that Runner's World episode, and that idea pretty much went from inception to launch in about 3.5 weeks.
He moves fast, people. Hopefully, not everything.
No.
So how did you come up with the name Mid-Strike Mag?
We put out a couple names to my BMR group, a few guys, and we just like throwing names out there. We wanted something that runners can relate to. So most runners are mid-strike runners. I don't want to explain everything, because it's like I could be here for like hours, but not. But most runners are mid-strike. Most runners are mid-strike runners. So we wanted something catchy that runners can relate to. And that's where Mid-Strike Magazine came from. We actually, I think I had names like Mid-Strike Magazine, 4 Foot Running.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
No Pace, No Case, Black on My Feet.
Black on My Feet?
Yeah, Black on My Feet was one of them, because it's
I like
for
that
us.
one.
But once you start getting into like the logos and stuff, just Mid-Strike kind of fit. Surprisingly, people like that name, so we'll keep it. beauty of it is you can always change it when you want. It's called the rebrand, but we ain't there yet. So.
No, not yet. So I like the layout of the magazine. You have mile 1, mile 2, mile 3. Are you going to continue with that for all of the issues?
Most definitely. Because again, I want it to be where it's a runner's magazine at first. So I want something where runners can relate to. Mm-hmm. So as they're reading, you'll see in the content, it's like the interviews and questions and overviews are going to be like we're getting in our runs together. Like we're just having, jogging and talking. Mm-hmm. And I want to keep that same feeling on paper because I feel like as runners, we relate to what we know the most.
Okay, so let's get into the content of the magazine. Your cover, what would you call them? Cover model, cover feature, cover story?
Featured articles.
Okay, so your featured article, on your cover you have Karan Allen, who we had on the Runway podcast back in June. So why did you choose Karan as your first cover story?
For me, since from inception to launch was so soon, I just wanted to find somebody that was interesting, right? So what he did the past 6 months, to me, is amazing. You know what I mean? From running for a Senate seat while being a runner is insane. Like, for those of you who track him, you'll see he runs like 150, 160 miles per month.
Wow.
And he runs like daily in the dead of the night. So for me, it was like, how do you balance that? Because as runners, we all have lives. So that's something I wanted to kind of put out there just to show like we all have lives outside of running. How do we find that balance? How do we find time to stay fit? And to me, that was just very interesting that we have a runner or someone in our community running for a public office. That's black.
Yes.
So how many times can you say that? How many times has that happened?
Listen, that's why I had him on the show, because I've never seen it happen. This is like once in a lifetime.
So I felt, we had to cover that. You know what I mean? And even though it was a little behind because the election passed already, I just felt his story was one that everybody should. And that's the goal of this magazine, is to put our stories out there, our diverse stories out there as much as possible. Like we want to cover every aspect of that, so that's the goal of Men's Stripe magazine.
And then you have a run streaking section with Bridgette Turner.
Yes.
How'd you come up with that?
Bridgette is cool. She started her run streak when the coronavirus started. And she's up to day, we released yesterday, so she's probably at 134 today. So for me, we have runners that run every day. You know what I mean? And that's just, I can't even put it into words. For me, it's just amazing to see that. And, everybody has their own reasons. So we just wanted to get with her to discuss what's her reason behind it, why she's running every day. And she tells us about her reasons. I'm not going to tell you here because I want you to go read the magazine.
Yes, read the magazine.
She gives us some reasons, and she's at day 133. And to give you perspective, I never ran more than 6 days a week, or 6 in a row. So
I don't think I've ever even run 6 days in a row.
No.
My max might be 3.
Yeah, my
4.
max is 6. And after 6, I think I took like 4 days off.
Yeah.
So you got people that do it every day, and these are the people that we're going to show in the magazine. We just want to show everybody in their light, their form, their star, their universe. We want to bring their stories out.
And then you have Captain Cole, Kavon Flowers.
Yes, Captain Cole, captain of BMR NYC, my chapter, founder of NYC Way. He gives us talks on his healthy dialogue, how he eats. He's a vegan. So, he shows us how he kind of proceeds in his preparedness for running, and tells us about his vegan diet, what he eats leading up to that, and how he's able to, run while being vegan. So you can do it. You don't need protein or...
I was just thinking that because chicken. We as runners always think we need protein and we need to carb load and things like that. But yeah, I think that's a good section. So you're going to have like a healthy section every month?
We'll have a healthy section every month. We'll have run streaking with different runners where we'll just discuss their run streaks. We'll have healthy talks. with runners who are in the health profession, who are dietitians, and we'll have feature runners who just like that do things that are amazing. And that's the production in me, by the way. It's like, you just stop and wait, but we'll feature all of that in the magazine.
So I like that you have a section on Black-owned businesses in the magazine. Is that going to continue? Are you going to offer advertising on the site? Because you're giving away a ton of free promotion, by listing all of these Black-owned businesses, which is great.
We do want to have a Black-owned business section because the more the more information we have.
That's emphasis and information combined. Emphasis.
The word. But the more information we have on Black-owned businesses, we want to put it out there. And even if it, we want to have like a glossary of the whole section, and not just for the tri-state, for everywhere. We want our viewers to be able to go to their Instagram, their website, and support them. Because we as people, we are beautiful people. We're smart, we're educated, and we're business savvy, and we have businesses everywhere. The only way that we're going to get ahead is if we support each other.
Exactly.
And the way to do that is, I feel like, a section in the magazine that has a place for Black-owned businesses, small or large, to place their content. We want to be there for them because we want to support our own, and we want to keep the money circulating in our communities. So that's the main goal of it. And again, I think if I remember correctly, and the Jewish dollar stays in the neighborhood for I think 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, and I think for the dollar in Black neighborhood stays for only like 6 hours. So I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if those numbers are correct. They might be close.
I read that recently as well.
Yeah. So.
But it is correct because they have their own businesses in their neighborhoods, their own banks, and we have some of that, but we don't. We're quick to throw our money, wherever. So that is definitely true.
So the goal of this is if we can create a place where our readers can go to and say, "Oh, I like that shea butter, I'm going to purchase from there," or I need a tech person, I can go there, or I need a wedding dress for people that's getting married, they can go there. We have that is listed in the magazine. But we want a central place where people can go to find their needs, and that's the goal of it.
Now you also have a podcast feature.
Yes.
The Runway is the first podcast feature. So is that going to continue every month? You're going to feature a new podcast?
Yeah, we'll feature a new podcast every month. We want to just, have a place for people to have their content. The Runway came first because this is where the idea.
You could keep putting the Runway every month, though. I don't mind.
I mean, Mid-Stripe Magazine can be sponsored by the Runway. We can do that.
Hello.
So, each month we'll feature a podcast. Give them a chance to put themselves out there, where to listen, where to watch, and just tell us about their content. And we do have an email for that. We'll dump that at the end, but we'll give a place for them. And this Mid-Strike is a place for us.
So you're calling the magazine the Diverse Runners Magazine. So what does diverse mean to you?
Diverse means supporting people of color. Is it excluded for white people? It's for the diverse culture. It's for us. It's for people of color. It breathes diverse. Runner's World, they can keep their magazine and whatnot, but this is for us. You know what I mean? And I don't know where it's gonna go from here. And it continues to grow, but it's mainly for us. It's for people of color.
So what is the future of Mid-Strike Mag? Where do you see it going?
Hopefully it'll grow into something very large. Again, God willing, I just want it to be a safe place for us as runners, the running community, the diverse running community. I think that's, I can't get any more simpler than that. You know, I just want it to be a safe place where we can voice our concerns, our opinions, in a place where it will be heard. You know, and I think most of all, that's the main goal of it. Mm-hmm. Everything else after that, if it grows, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? If it stays where it's at, I'm all for it. You know, I just want people, for me as a runner, I just want us to have a voice. Mm-hmm. And this is our voice.
So if I am a runner, can I hit you up and say feature me in your magazine or?
Oh, most definitely. Actually, it's already happened.
Oh.
It's you know.
He's popular already.
You know, we've got a few folks saying they're interested. Hey, let us know. And again, like I said, we want to be there for them, and we're going to give everybody their shot. Mm-hmm. As long as we get them in. Might be a line, might be a time down the line, but we want as much you to be featured in our magazine as possible. You can email us for any suggestions, any inquiries, anything that you would like to see. You can drop it in the email and we'll get back to you.
What about writers? Are you looking for any people to contribute content?
I'd say yeah. You know, we want to give everybody a voice. As we continue to grow, yes, we are going to need writers and we are going to look for writers. So mm-hmm. I am leaving that open. Folks that love to write about, you know, anything diverse issues when it comes to politics, running, anything that you like to voice, send us an email and we'll discuss it. So, like I said, we're open, we're here for you, and we just want to be a safe place for diversion. Mm-hmm.
And that email is msm@midstrikemagazine.com. I'll put it down below and put it up on the screen for y'all watching as well. Okay, so I want to thank Jesse for being on the Runway podcast. This is his first official on-air interview in how long?
2005.
In a long time.
No, I'm not a front the camera person, so I know. This is hard.
So I'm honored to have him on the show. So if you want to learn more about Midstrike Magazine, you can find them on Instagram, Midstrike Magazine. Web, midstrikemagazine.com. There's a link in their Instagram bio to sign up on the mailing list so you can receive the magazine right to your inbox.
Make sure you subscribe. For our subscribers, we will release 2 days earlier before the release date. It'll be consistent. I'll just say that. I kind of like the surprise feel with it.
Yeah, because you just dropped it. Like there was like no build up or anything. It was like, bam, here's the magazine.
I think I might keep it that way. I don't know. We'll see. But
it works, right?
Yeah, it definitely did. I did a Beyonce, Lemonade. That's where it came from. She's actually dropping another album.
When?
Disney Plus.
Oh. Listen, I'm a bee stand. We ain't gonna go into that. We're not gonna go into that, but yeah, so thank you for listening, and I will catch you on the next episode of the show. Later.